What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here, sitting in the heart of the Panda Research Institute, and I want to talk to you today about home warranty insights. So that's what's coming up next. All right, guys, let's talk about home warranties because I actually picked up a home warranty. I actually didn't just pick up one home warranty. I actually picked up two home warranties this last year because I have a rental property, and it just kind of dawned on me after having some personal experience with warranty on my home that I should absolutely have it on my rental property. And now that I've had it for over a year, I wanted to share my experiences because I think it's really important, one, to understand what a home warranty is, why you might need it, how it works, so that when you do have issues, that it would be covered, right? So let's talk about why people might need a home warranty. Well, there's a couple general rules of thumb when you own a home or a property about what you should queue up in terms of savings to maintain that property. And there's a couple rules of thumb. One, 1% rule. So 1% of the home value is generally what you would need to expect to spend on maintenance and repairs. So let's say it's a $200,000 home, you would want $2,000 a year to spend on repairs, almost a couple $100 a month. There's another general rule of thumb that you want to put away a dollar per square foot of your home. So let's say you have a 2,000 square foot home, you would also need $2,000 a year in repairs and maintenance costs covered. Now, when you are saving up for stuff like that, my big problem is, furnace filters and whole house water filters and things like that, are probably going to be pretty regular. But when you do have a pretty big expense, anything can really jar that number out of that range. I mean, refrigerators today are like $1,500. So if you have to replace a refrigerator in any 1 year, you're probably going to destroy that $2,000 cushion. And my big problem is, if you're saving up money to get to this like $2,000 a year cushion, or even this $2,000 a year cash outlay, cash flow expense. Well, the problem is just getting there, right? Just getting a couple $1,000s under your belt, or cash flowing a couple $1,000s a year to have that. And then, like I said, any probably big repair might really kind of put you under a sink you. And so that's where home warranties come in here, because home warranties, what I found, are pretty inexpensive. And I actually picked one up because my father had a house that had a home warranty when it was purchased. And so for the first year, it was actually covered as the home warranty was thrown in. So if you're selling a home, one of the things to kind of keep in mind is throwing in a year's worth of home warranty might be really, really good value for those buyers. So you still need to budget for regular maintenance. Let me be clear that home warranties do not cover the things that you're supposed to do, like the filters in your refrigerator that filter the water for the ice cube maker or the water dispenser. You're still gonna have to do that on your own. Filters for the furnace, you're gonna have to do those, and you're actually gonna really have to be regular and do those, because if you have repairs that are due to negligence or neglect, that's probably something that could potentially not be covered. So you are still going to have cash outlays on things related to keeping up your property, but kind of what the home warranty protects you from are the big expenses, the replacement, the repairs that you might not expect. Is it good for a primary residence or rental? Yes, on both. And actually, I've actually now had claims on both, and they've been pretty, easy to do, and kind of, problem free, and almost stress free for me. Now, I also will say home warranties are generally pretty affordable, and the monthly cost is affordable, especially when you compare it to how much I would have to put aside, maybe a couple $100 a month aside to try to get up to a savings point, or to a couple $100 a month just an outlay. A home warranty, I've seen them anywhere from $15 to $50 a month. Now, part of that is because home warranties can be broken up into different types of services. Usually, there's kind of one coverage, appliance coverage, which would cover things like your refrigerator, your dishwasher, your ovens, your stovetops, those types of things, appliances, standalone, microwave. The other type is what they call home systems. So this is the other big category. Things like your HVAC, your air conditioning, your furnace, those types of big kind of things that are installed in your home. And so it's really those two different categories, and you can insure either one of those or both of them. Now, if you get any one of those, it can be, if you were just to subscribe to pipe coverage, it might be 15 or $20 a month. If you get full house systems, it might be $30 a month. Or if you just get appliances, it might be $30 a month. But the best value comes when you get the whole bundle. So in most cases, and I use a home warranty company. It was $30 for appliances or systems, or it was $45 for both. So you got a discount for subscribing to both categories, which I really liked. On top of that, you can usually add on some additional coverages if your property is a little bit unique. And for me, I added on well pump coverage as well as septic tank coverage. But you might have like exterior pipes or something along those lines. Warranty coverages vary by warranty providers, and so you want to read. And that's how I selected my warranty company, because they were able to offer me those two add-ons where a lot of other warranty companies were not. Now there are a few big players in the home warranty world, and from what I can tell, most of them have gotten pretty good reviews. I use one, and so my experiences might vary based on what you get, but I will share with you kind of the process that mine uses and some of the things to keep in mind. Now, the other thing I will say in terms of origination of a warranty is that sometimes your utility company will offer you some warranty coverage, and that may be through a third party or maybe through them. I know my neighbor actually has home warranty coverage through our gas company, and so what they do is the premium for that just gets added onto the gas bill, which is really nice because then you're just kind of getting one single bill for that. So check that out too. It might actually be a fairly inexpensive way to do it, and then you just call that 800 number that they give you, and they come out and do it. So he's been really happy with that. Now, let me talk about first, before I get into what was covered for me, I do want to talk about what is generally not covered. And that's usually anything exterior to the walls. Like I said, I have a septic tank, and so I added on septic tank service. It doesn't cover the replacement of the septic tank, doesn't cover the pipes to it. It actually only really covers service to it. And so kind of keep that in mind. But in fact, I had to replace a pipe last year, and that was on my own dime because it was very clearly stated that what was covered in kind of some dollar caps. On my well pump, I have a well too. The pump is covered, and some of the service to that is covered, but things like shocking the well and some of the things that are specific to wells are not covered, as well as replacing some of the tanks and things like that if you need to. So really kind of read the document about what is included, but really in most cases they're very similar. It's only these kind of add-on things that kind of get really very, very specific. Usually I will also throw out there as a tip is if you are looking at a warranty like through American Home Shield or Total Choice or something like that, or Choice Warranty or whatever it's called, you can usually Google the contract, the company name and the contract, and there are usually these template contracts, and so you can read through them, kind of look for the section. If you're really worried about your furnace, or maybe you're really worried about your refrigerator, look and you can read it. It's usually plain English. They're really easy to understand. They're not a lot of legalese like other insurance contracts. So it will kind of say, hey, the GE premium brand is not covered, but GE brands are covered, or whatever it might be. That also brings me to premium brands. In a lot of the contracts, if you have like a Viking range, or like I said, GE has like a premier brand or something like that, what they will usually not do is cover those fully. So let's say you have a Viking range and it goes bad, they'll maybe repair it, but what they won't do is necessarily replace it. They'll replace it with a typical consumer brand. Now, you can pay the difference to get to that premium brand if you want, but it doesn't necessarily mean that if you have a premium brand already in there, and they will usually list those out as excluded, that they're only going to replace it with kind of the conventional consumer brand. So that's kind of nice. Now, the other add-in stuff that you can add, like I said, septic well, pool, spa, external freezers, standalone freezers. There's a lot of ability to add these things on, and I'll be honest, the monthly cost of adding a lot of these things on is, as far as I can tell, it's like in the $2 or $3 range. So even though you may have, the $30 appliance coverage and the $30 home coverage bundled together for $45, to get all of the other things that are specific to your house, you may only get to like $50 or $47, right? I mean, so it's really, I think, a really good value. Now, let me also say the things that are not covered are things that are covered by your homeowner's insurance, right? So very, very clearly in those contracts, roofs are not covered. So if you have hail damage or something like that, that's going to go through your homeowner's insurance. If it's just wear and tear and needs to be replaced, again, that's something you're probably going to have to do in your home, because even homeowner's insurance doesn't cover that. So if it's something that is typically covered by homeowner's insurance because of damage, like your appliances all get ruined because of a tornado or something like that, your homeowner's insurance is probably going to cover that, not the home warranty. Those aren't really defects in the home warranty. Now, I want to talk to you a little bit about kind of the practical application of this. What does using a home warranty look like? So now over the last year, not only have I gotten a chance to put in some claims, but I have some tips on this, right? I have some tips. So the prerequisite to this is you got to kind of understand what's in your contract. Now, the other thing, and it's a must, is you have to go through their repair services. Now, I thought this was a little bit constricting, and I actually didn't know this the first time I needed service done. In fact, one of the things that I want to do is have my septic tank uh, uh, service emptied, and I called a service and they weren't available. I called another one and they were, so they came and they pumped it and blah blah. And I sent the bill to my home warranty company. Well, the process for getting that approved is you go through them. So you go on your website and you have that service. You put in a claim and they will basically show you what times are available for appointments, and you just pick it, and that's really it. They will come and provide that service at that time. Every time I've picked a time slot, they've always been very punctual about it. Usually, you'll get an email or a phone call or a text message beforehand, even days beforehand, just confirming it. So it's been really nice, and so that's actually a huge advantage of not having to find a service provider. If you had to get your stove looked at, you'd probably be on Angie's List or on Yelp looking at reviews. All that's taken away from you. And so the irony of it is what I thought might be constricting to me, relying on their service provider network, is actually a huge advantage. It's actually so convenient that I can just basically book an appointment. Now, let me back up and tell you what I did there. And the problem I did is I didn't go on and make a claim. I had a service provider come out on my own and I sent them a bill. And what I got was an email back that said, hey, you picked your own provider on this. That's not permitted. And we can't, approve your claim. And I was like, oh, that's too bad. But someone else actually reviewed it. I didn't even actually appeal it. What they did is someone else reviewed it and they actually did approve my claim. Now, that was great because it was really my misunderstanding about how the claim process worked. It was just kind of being a novice and a noob on home warranties. I should have gone through their process and probably would have been more convenient for me, to be honest. But I really like the fact that they stepped up and still reimbursed me. So they reviewed it. I guess maybe they contacted the provider just to make sure that they were cool. Maybe they contacted the provider and added them to their provider network and proved it. I don't know. But it's usually kind of in the back of my mind that warranty and insurance companies are going to do everything in their power to reject, or deny. And I was really pleased that they kind of did that on their own. Especially when it was really my mistake. So kudos to them for doing that. But make sure you go through their process. Now, if it's an emergency, you might say, hey, well, my furnace goes out and it's in the middle of winter and I'm freezing and this is no Gouda. On my home warranty company, they say call their 800 number, talk to someone, put in a claim. If it's an emergency, just do that. Now, I actually had recently some furnace issues. The furnace was running, so it wasn't urgent. But when I went onto their website, I made an appointment, and it was for the following week. The funny thing is, even though I submitted this claim at say 10 o'clock at night, I actually got a phone call about 20 minutes later. So when I put in that claim, they must have sent it to their local contracted service provider. And he called me and said, hey, I just got this request for next Saturday to come and see your furnace, but it doesn't give me any details. Is this an emergency? Is this something I need to come over right away on? And I said, no, it's not an emergency. I mean, you can come earlier if you want, but that's a convenient day for me. And he said, no, fine, I'll see you then. But what I really liked is that even though it wasn't an emergency, because that type of service and the season it is, people kind of might suspect that it is. And I like that the fact that he reached out and the first guy came and it was great. And I really was happy that they were able to provide it. Now, let's talk about your cost during those repairs, because home warranty coverages do cover you, but just like a lot of insurance or homeowners insurance, there's a deductible, and you've got to understand that that's how they prevent you from just always submitting more claims, right? Now, the deductibles vary from homeowners insurance, and generally, I feel like there's a rule: the higher the deductible, the kind of the better coverage, the cheaper the insurance is. And I don't know that that's true on the home warranty side, but I feel like it's probably it's probably generally a good rule to keep in mind. Now, the deductibles I've seen are anywhere from $50 to $125. Now, my deductible is $125 per service call. So if you think the repair is going to be $125 or less, you might as well just call someone on your own, because there's no, maybe, maybe the convenience of filing the claim on your home warranties website is going to be easier, especially if you don't want to find a certified electrician or something like that. But you are going to have to pay at the time of service that $125 deductible. So in most cases, you can just write a check. In all of my cases, I've just given a credit card and they've had something on their phone and they swipe it and you're good to go. And then basically, I have no more out of pocket costs at that point. In fact, on my rental property, where the dishwasher wasn't working, they came and I thought they were going to replace it, but clearly they're going to look for the best possible option in terms of the economics for them. And they figured out there were two major problems with it and they could fix those. And so he actually fixed one on site, but the other required, I think, that spinning water blade needed to be replaced. It was broken. And so he ordered that, but he had to come back a week later after the part came in to install that. So again, um, it almost doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I guess if you're really have your heart set on getting a brand new appliance, well, maybe, but they may repair it or they may replace it. In the case of my furnace, they're actually going to replace a part that is, as he estimated, probably going to cost anywhere from $1,300 to $3,500. And so a huge, huge value. As you might know, there's pretty much nothing on furnaces that ever needs repair that is pretty cheap. All the little things that, the igniter or the flame sensor, stuff like that, you can probably do on your own. But when you're having kind of more broader issues with those big appliances, they're not inexpensive. And part of the reason is just because you have to put in a lot of effort to tear them apart. So that is going to be a really nice thing for me, is just knowing that I'm only $125 out of pocket. 50, 75, whatever your deductible is, just understand that if you make that claim, you're going to have to pay that at the time of service. All right. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the cancellation fees. Now, from what I can see or tell, there aren't really cancellation fees in the kind of the traditional sense. What I have noticed, though, is most warranty companies require you to cancel with 30 days notice. And so when you call and cancel, you can expect, if your credit card is being charged regularly, that it's going to get charged one more time. Or if you've just been charged and it's paying for the next 30 days, what I would say is don't expect to get that refunded to you. You're probably just going to get another 30 days of coverage. And that's how it is. On top of that, some home warranty companies, as far as I can tell, have like a $50 administrative account closure fee. So there might be that on top of it. So one of the things I was worried about is that, if I don't like this warranty company, or I put in claims and they don't like me and they kick me out and blah, 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 am I going to have to pay $200 if I want to boot them? It doesn't seem like that. The worst case scenario is maybe your premium, $50 a month, and maybe another $50 admin fee. So not totally expensive to get rid of, especially, like me, if you just have it billed to your credit card once a month. So that's really my experience with home warranties. Now, one of the things that I can't attest or cannot attest to from personal experience is, what about putting in a lot of claims? Can you get kicked out of your home warranty? Well, in the contract that I read, and basically how they say is that there is no limit in the number of claims or the dollar amounts that can be paid out. However, they do reserve the right to cancel your warranty with notice at any point. So I think if you're one of these people, you have a lot of problems in your home and you're just waiting for that warranty to kick in and you're going to start submitting everything, they might not react too kindly to that. And I wouldn't be surprised if at some point, probably not right away, but they say, hey, this is not affordable. And, you can, as a business, fire a customer. But that is absolutely possible. Although I haven't come up across that. And I've definitely had at least now a few, 3 or 4 claims put in. And some of these are creeping up there on the dollar amounts. So it has definitely been worth it for me. I'm really glad that I did this. I did it about a year ago, and like I said, haven't had a lot of claims, but have had a few claims, and a few of those would have set me back some real money. So it has definitely worked out. And to be honest, even if you have the money on the side in your savings account and your emergency fund, just in cash or whatever, I don't know that it doesn't make sense to not get this. I would get it regardless. It's just kind of a cheap way, a fairly inexpensive way to have coverage. If you think about the average mortgage um, payment being $1,000 a month or something, and you tack on $50, it's not a huge penalty, right? If you're paying PMI or something, insurance or some of these other things, you may be paying some of these things in fees. Where in this case, you're getting real coverage. So I really, really like it. If it's too expensive and you're worried about the appliances or the furnaces or whatever, again, you can have a lot of peace of mind. I will also say that um, there is a waiting period when you sign up. So what I realize is that they basically say the first 30 days are not covered. And that's basically the first 30 days when you submit your application. So I put in my credit card information, I submitted the application for the coverage, and I was like, when are they going to charge my credit card? I don't see any charges. Well, basically they wait 30 days. That's how they know that I'm not sitting on a repair that needs to be done right now. My furnace isn't out and I'm freezing to death and I'm just waiting for the sucker to kick in. And so what I thought is I was actually going to pay the premium and not get 30 days covered. So what they do is they just don't charge you. They basically make you apply. So what I would say is if you want a home warranty, you don't have repairs right now, you're even on the fence about it, I would sign up for it. I really would. And because you're not out of pocket anything for the first 30 days. And then you get that done, right? If you're starting to sniff on things and start suspecting things are going to go out, that's not when you really want to be applying for this thing. You want to kind of be front run it and be ahead of it. Now, what I will say here is there are a number of home warranty companies out there. I don't know them all. When I was shopping for mine, I read a number of articles and some blog posts kind of saying, hey, these are the best ones, the top three or whatever. And so there's a handful of those. I'm going to put a link to some of the home warranty companies that were kind of in the top 3 or 4 of those lists in the description below. So if you want to pick up a home warranty company, they may be affiliate links. Let me just say at this point, just count on them being an affiliate link. So if you do purchase through them, it helps me here at the channel continue to do what we do here. But I don't know that they will. They may be just directly to their site. So I'll reach out to these companies and see if we can get some of that information. But whether it's through the links below or you find one that you like or through your utility company, like I said, I couldn't be happier with mine. So far, so good. If there are any updates on it, I'll let you know. But man, having that home warranty, just knowing that essentially my costs are fixed, my cost on a repair is capped with that deductible, just gives me so much more peace of mind. I don't have to be haunted by the $3,000 to $5,000 furnace repair or the $4,000 air conditioning unit repair or the $2,000 refrigerator, right? Appliances change sizes in homes, and my home's a little older, and so sometimes it's hard to find appliances that fit my thing without special ordering them. So it's just really, really nice that I know I have those things either repaired or replaced, correctly without having to do all the legwork on my own, and as well as bear all the burden of the cost on my own. So check it out. Links in the description below. Peter from Panda. Out.